Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Back again to my new video in my YouTube channel. Firstly, let's introduce myself. My name is Agustina Nur Kholizah. My ID number is T20196022. And now I want to explain about the chapter 3 that is about equivalent and equivalent effect. In Roman Jacobson, the nature of linguistic meaning and equivalent. In chapter 1, we saw how in the paper on linguistic aspect of translation, Robin Jacobson describes three kinds of translation. The first is interlingual, second is interlingual, and the third is intersemiotic. With interlingual referring to translation between two different written sign systems. Jacobson goes on of the examine key issues in this type of translation, notably linguistic meaning and equivalence. Jacobson follows the theory of language proposed by the famous Swiss linguist Saussure. Saussure distinguished between the linguistic system of language as specific individual utterance, plural. Central to his theory of language, he differentiated between the signifier, the spoken and written signal, and the significant to concept, which is together create the linguistic sign. Thus, in English, the word is in the acoustic signifier which denotes the concept. Food made by preset cured the signifier. And then Jacobson move on to consider the tummy problem of equivalence in meaning between words in different language. Part of Saussure's parallel, he pointed out that there is ordinary to full equivalent between chord units. On the one hand, linguistic universalism considers that although language may differ in the way they convey meaning and in the surface relation of that word, on the one hand, linguistic relativity or determines in its strongest from claims that differences in language shape different conceptualization of the word. This is the famous Sapir-Whorf hypothesis that had its roots in the Hopi language, which according to Whorf had no words of grammatical categories in that time. Full linguistic relativity would mean that translation was impossible. But, of course, translation does occur in all sorts of different contexts and language pairs in Jacobson. Description intergradual translation involves subtitled message in one language not for separate code units but for entire message in for college plus the unit for this. The message college this word because this code unit will necessarily be different since they belong to two different sign systems. And then for Jacobson, cross-linguistic differences which underlie the concept of equivalence centered around obligatory grammatical and lexical form. Language differ essentially in what they must convey and not in what they may convey The example of difference is too easy to find the accurate. The first is the level of gender. The second is the level of aspect. The third is the level of semantic file, and such a skilled term is normally explicated in English as brother and sister. And then the second is that is about Nida and the science of translating. Angry Nida's story of translation developed from his own practical work from the 1940 onward, when he was translation organizing the translation of the Bible, training of an inexperienced translator who wrote in the file. Nida's theory took concrete from into major word in the 1960 toward a sense of translating. And the author, the theory and practice of translation, Nida and Taber, the title, the first of the title of the first book is significant. Nida attempt to move Bible translation into a more scientific era by incorporating recent work in linguistics. His more systematic approach borrow theoretical concept and terminology both from semantic and pragmatic and from Noam Chomsky work on synthetic structure with from the theory of a universal generative transformational grammar. Then, Chomsky generative translational model analyzes sentences into series of related level governed by rules and very simplified from the key features of this model can be summarized as follows. The first is pre-structure rules generate an underlying of the structure, which is the second is transformed by transformational rules relying on underlying structure to another to products. And the third is a final surface structure which is is subject to phonological and morphemic rules. And then after that, the third is the nature of meaning advanced in semantics and probability. When it comes to analyzing individual word, Nida describes various scientific approach to meaning related to words that have been carried out by theorists in semantic and pragmatic. Central to Nida's work in the move away from the old idea that word has a fixed meaning and toward a functional definition of meaning in which a word acquires meaning through its context and can produce varying responses according to culture. Meaning is broken down in the following. The first is linguistic meaning. The relationship between different linguistic structures borrowing elements of the model. The second is transitional meaning. Then in the non-normative dictionary meaning, the son denote a male child. The third is emotive or connotative meaning. The association of word produce so in the press don't worry about That soon, the word soon is a term of endearment of may in some contexts be patronizing. A series of technicals adapted from linguistics in the present as an aid for the translator in determining the meaning of different linguistic items. Yes, but I think all but my explanation about the chapter 3. Thank you very much and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe this video. The last I say, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much.